Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Caesaris De Bello Gallico, Book 1, Chapter 2, Line 6 through 12. Right off the bat, we have this id, neuter, could be the subject, could be the accusative. We don't know, but yes we do, because we know how to translate Latin. And we've got the context. The previous little section we were talking about, we have Encoder. It's kind of the main focus of what we're talking about in this chapter 2. And we talked about his motives, and he wants to take over all of Gaul. And I think that, look at this, an it is not going to be the subject. We're talking about Encoder, so it's going to be a he. So this is going to be our correct object. Context is key. Hoc facilius. Now, facilius here is going to be an adverb, though it could also be a neuter, could be describing that. Don't get confused. We're talking about convincing somebody, and it's really important here that you be able to convince them more easily, and it goes along with the context of the thing. Finally, we have this ace, which is dative, and then this, which is the ablative, and more easily by this, and this is the dative is simply the object of this suadeo verb. So we have he has convinced them more easily by this. And we still have this direct object. In English, we don't say he's convinced them it. We say we have convinced someone of something. So we'll just put of in front of it, and that'll make it fit well in the English. And instead of putting by, I'll put with. Makes it just seem flow better a little bit. But he's talking about his rationale and his reasoning and whatnot, which is illustrated both in the last passage and in this one. And this next sentence is actually very important with his reasoning and why the Helvetians want to go somewhere. And I won't type quote because it's in Latin, but we have this because, talking about the purpose, the reason why they want to go. And we have this undique right here. It's going to be from all sides or on all sides. And because on all sides, loci natura, by the nature of the place, by just how the lay of the land is, Helvetians are bounded. So we'll kind of unscramble this a little bit. The Helvetians are bounded on all sides by the nature of the place. And if you look at Switzerland on a map, which is the modern day location where the Helvetians are doing their thing about 2,000 years ago, Switzerland is a small country. People don't take over Switzerland, and it's not part of a larger country. It is its own thing because, like the Helvetians, the Swiss people, they are bounded on all sides. There's a lot of natural borders, and so it's hard for countries and things to really evolve, grow large from Switzerland because it is bounded. And this is a valid point that Geographic is going to be making with this. So now we have this una ex parte, and yes, the adjective is in front of the preposition. This is a very common form you'll see really with any Latin thing. So it's going to be just on the first part, or on the first side. And really, pars partis can mean just kind of section or side or part. It really fits well in the part, and I think we sometimes get stuck in thinking that it really can only mean part, when it can really talk about a section or a side or just kind of a division more generally. And then we have this ablative phrase right here, and some adjectives which are describing that, and nothing else in this clause. There are no verbs in this clause, and there's not even a subject. And I think really this is going to be just kind of detailing in what we're talking about with this constant nature. On the first side, by the river Rhine. So Likewise, on the first side, they are bounded by the river Rhine, except this is just not included. Like we would in English, we just put some of the objects and don't include the verb. There's no need to. On the first side, by the river Rhine, and then the classifying adjectives are both superlatives expressing how the predicament of the Helvetians, they're trapped in there. So in the river Rhine, widest, comma, widest, and also, or as well, deepest. And then we have just some information about the river Rhine, perhaps, just with this qui, and that's masculine, matching the gender of this Rhenus Rheni. So we have which agrum Helvetium e Germanis dividit. Ultimately, we're talking here about this agrum. This is the direct object, agrum Helvetium. Notice that this is the adjective form of this. Very little difference, but note that it is singular, and we never really talk about a single Helvetian person unless by their name. And so that's pretty easy to recognize that it's an adjective describing this masculine accusative ending agrum, which doesn't have to mean a field. We're going to be talking about it in terms of the Helvetian land. So which divides the Helvetian land from the Germanics. And we see some huge parallelism here. Altera ex parte, ablative phrase, followed by ablative phrase, Monte Jura Altissimo. On the second part per side, by the highest mountain, Jura. Today, the Jura Mountains are a whole range of mountains. It's not just one mountain, but here they're talking about it as a singular mountain. Also, this Altera, I tend to think of Alius, Alia, Aliud as a better thing for saying just other. It's Altera, and it's being used in conjunction with this unali seeing. It's really just going to be meaning second as opposed to another. Just kind of going along with the flow of the list more than anything. And finally, we have another little information clause, probably about the groups that this is involved with, which is very straightforward. Just simply this is and then a accusative prepositional phrase, which is between the Sequanians and the Helvetians. You want to even include the ex parte. We know what we're talking about, Tertia, on the third, of course, third side, but there's no need for that. We get it. In English, we do that too. Alaku, Lemanu, Lumine, Danu. Two things are bounding them on this third side. On the third, by the lake of Geneva, which is the modern name of Lake Limanus. I believe it also is called a derivative of this name, but I believe this is the prevalent name. I'm not sure. It's really just one of the names. I decided to use it. On the third, by the lake of Geneva, and by the river Rhone. Lastly, we have huge parallel structure in Caesar in these lists. It's just the same thing again. We have another little relative clause, just kind of talking about what the groups on other sides are doing, and this is relevant, very much so, to the Romans. We have this our province going on, which is talking about southern Gaul or southern France, and then we have from the Helvetians. So, which divides our province. I am going to capitalize it because it is a finite location, like the rest of the locations and landforms described herein. Divides our province from the elevations. Okay, so this has been a short little passage. I hope this helped, and I hope that you'll come back and enjoy some more.